engages with broader questions of emotional labor, as India's intervention requires careful observation, patience, and strategic involvement, illustrating how women often absorb responsibility for the relational comfort and growth of others while managing their own needs and maintaining boundaries. A dynamic that mirrors both professional mentorship and personal relational networks, where care and guidance are rarely unidirectional and are always contextualized within existing hierarchies and expectations. By focusing on these interior dynamics rather than sensationalizing the scenario, the film challenges conventional discomfort with women's same-sex intimacy, highlighting that the tension and learning inherent in these interactions are ethically meaningful and emotionally resonant without needing to rely on explicit spectacle. And by presenting the narrative through close attention to hesitation, expression, and response, the filmmakers insist that lesbian intimacy is worthy of serious attention, reflective of real-world experiences of desire, vulnerability, and emotional negotiation. The narrative further situates this learning within a context of visibility and social consequence, as Chloe's eventual awareness that she has been part of a guided lesson underscores the tension between private desire and public accountability, reminding viewers that queer women frequently operate under conditions in which expressing attraction, receiving mentorship, or engaging in emotional exploration must be continually reconciled with expectations of professionalism, social norms, and peer perception, and that the capacity to navigate these dual pressures is itself a form of emotional intelligence and resilience. The power dynamics between India, Shyla, and Chloe are neither flattened nor moralized, instead allowing the audience to reflect on the complex ways that authority, experience, and mentorship interact with emerging desire, and how queer women often find themselves negotiating not only the direct expressions of affection, but the broader implications of those interactions within social, professional, and relational structures that remain attentive to propriety and reputation, illustrating the lived reality that emotional learning is inseparable from social positioning and risk management. The scene's emotional texture is further deepened by its attention to the internal states of each woman, particularly Shyla's oscillation between tentative initiative and responsive learning, which models the cognitive and emotional labor involved in acquiring relational fluency, highlight the importance of reflective practice, empathy, and self-awareness in queer relationships, and signaling to viewers that the messy, iterative process of understanding one's own desires and capacities is as significant as any outcome or external affirmation, reinforcing the film's commitment to portraying lesbian intimacy as a serious, complex, and ethically grounded human experience. Moreover, the film's depiction of India ensuring that Chloe completes her work demonstrates a subtle negotiation between professional and personal domains, illustrating the ongoing need for queer women to maintain legibility and social respectability while participating in intimate or experimental relational experiences, highlighting how desire and duty often coexist in tension, and how the careful management of these tensions is a central skill in both personal and professional life for women. From a critical perspective, the scene interrogates societal discomfort with women expressing affection or mentorship within same-sex contexts by situating the audience within the interior ethical deliberations of the characters, showing that the negotiation of power and desire need not be morally simplistic to be meaningful, and that the consequences of intimacy extend beyond immediate gratification to include considerations of autonomy, consent, and personal growth. A framing that challenges cultural tendencies, either to sensationalize lesbian intimacy or to erase it entirely, insisting instead that such experiences are complex, consequential, and deserving of attention. In terms of representation, each character plays a distinct symbolic and emotional role, with India embodying experience, authority, and the negotiation of social and relational boundaries, Shyla representing vulnerability, learning, and emergent self-recognition, and Chloe is the touchstone for responsive consent and relational feedback, a triadic interplay that mirrors real-world dynamics in queer communities where mentorship, emotional scaffolding, and relational experimentation are often intertwined with considerations of power, consent, and mutual recognition, illustrating how queer women navigate relational learning without the guidance of widely visible normative templates. The scene also resonates with broader female experiences beyond sexual orientation, as it models the careful calibration of emotional expression, professional responsibility, and ethical intervention, highlighting universal themes of guidance, responsiveness, and relational accountability, particularly relevant for women socialized to prioritize others' needs over their own, and for whom learning to inhabit one's own desires while honoring others is a continuous negotiation. The film's restrained, emotionally focused approach challenges prevailing cultural discomfort with lesbian intimacy by insisting on nuance, interiority, and ethical clarity, showing that desire can be taught, shared, and explored without diminishing agency or moral consideration, and that mentorship and learning are themselves legitimate forms of intimacy that operate across multiple